Hello my beautiful crafty friends. Today I'm just going to be doing a really simple cane with you today. I've already got some pieces ready for a Skinner blend, white fluorescent pink and a turquoise. Alright, so you can cut your pieces like that. These are a 00 thickness. I've got a little extra blue down there because I really want these ones to blend. Okay, if you don't know how to do a Skinner blend, there's a gajillion videos on YouTube about a Skinner blend, so you can check it out. I'm going to put it through the pasta machine with this edge touching the rollers on a setting 0. Okay, now that it's a little bit longer, I'm going to fold it over like that and put it through again with the folded edge against the rollers. Okay, fold it again, and I'm going to do this process about 20 times. Okay, so I'm going to keep doing this and I'll show you once it starts to blend. Okay, you can see the blend starting to happen. I'm still going to do it probably about another 10 times. But that blend is starting to look really nice. Okay, so I'm happy with the blend. I'm just going to trim up this top part here just a little bit. And now this time when I fold it over, I'm going to run it through my pasta machine, starting with this end hitting the rollers and going this way. Okay, so that's on setting 0. And now I'm going to keep going up. So I'm going to go on a 2. And then I'm going to go to a 4. Okay, so that's what it looks like on a 4. And now I'm going to fan fold the whole thing, so folding it over like that and then folding it back on itself and just fan folding it, trying to keep it as even as I can. Doesn't have to be perfect at this stage though, because we're going to be changing it into a different shape. Okay, so just like that. And now I'm going to kind of just round it off and make it into a little bit more of a, like a circular, cylindrical shape. I guess the cylinder is open, so not a cylinder, a roll. It's going to be a roll. Okay, and I want it to be fairly squat, so this is 2 inches high. Okay, so I'm going to wrap the whole thing now in some gold. I think I'm gonna wrap it a second time because I want this to be a little bit thicker than it is. I hadn't intended to make this log quite this big. Okay, so now that that is wrapped in the gold, I'm going to reduce this. So I want to get it to 10 to 12 inches. So I'm going to do the center, kind of squeeze in the center first, and then move out towards the ends. You could just roll it on your surface, but I feel like it does create a bit more waste that way. Every once in a while, kind of squeeze the ends, trying to reduce the amount of waste you get on the ends. Okay, so I'm gonna work on this until it gets to about 10-12 inches, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've got it to 12 inches now. So now I'm going to cut it in 2-inch increments. So we have 6 pieces. Okay, and I'm going to take those pieces and decide if I want the white or the teal at the center. I think I want the teal at the center. So I'm going to pinch the teal end so that it creates kind of like a teardrop shape. Okay, and I'm going to do that to all 6 of them. And you want them to be the same length once they're pinched, so if you have to manipulate them a little bit to get that accomplished. And then 2 more of them together. I think I might be pivoting my plan actually. So I've got 4 of them in teardrop shapes, putting them together in sets of 2. I think I'm actually gonna squish these ones. Instead of teardropping them, the last 2 that I have, I'm gonna kind of elongate them into like a bean shape with the white at the white on one side and the teal on the other. And I'm going to put them so that these are sitting together and then these are going to kind of squish in between there. Kind of like that. Okay, and now I want to make it into a little bit more of a circular pattern, so I'm just going to go along the edges. I know this is, normally you would fill in all those crevices, but not on this one. So I'm just going to go around and kind of hold on to the top and the bottom, and with my other hand go around and try to smooth this back into a log shape. And it will distort, but that's totally okay for what we're doing here. Okay, so once it's like somewhat in a log, I'm just going to roll it just to make sure that everything is really together. And I'm going to push it down so that it's a little bit squat. It's about 2 inches high. Okay, and now I'm going to take my blade curved. Here, let me just bring you in a little bit here. And take my blade curved, and I'm going to go, so where because there's 2 pieces that have the white towards the center and all the other 4 have the teal towards the center. Where there's a mix, I'm going to curve my blade and cut through these 2 all the way down. I'm going to cover this in some gold. It's not a very even cut, but that's going to be okay. And then, so it was sitting like that. I'm going to flip it over so that it is doing the opposite. Okay, and I'm going to go around and do that with the other side over here. So curving my blade and going all the way down. That was a little bit narrower, and this one I'm going to cover with the gold again. And then it was that way, so I'm going to flip it. Oh, actually that was the way it was. Which way was it? That way. Okay, so flipping it over. And then on the center bit, I think I'm going to do an X. So I'm going to go straight down this way and cover that with gold. Actually, I think I like it like that. I'm not going to do an X. I'm just going to do the one cut. Yeah, I think I'm just going to keep it right there where it is. Okay, now I'm going to form this into a square. Or, yeah, a square. So I'm pushing on the bottom part and then kind of moving my fingers up and then rotating, pushing on the bottom and moving my fingers up. Okay, make sure all of these corners are nice and sharp. I'm going to use my roller just to give it a little roll on each side. Can even give it a little wiggle. Okay, I'm going to trim off the ends here. Okay, and now I'm going to cut it in half. So I'm just going to squish it in until it is at about 4. Okay, my clay is a little bit warm right now. It's kind of doing a little bit of a squish of the colors. I'm trying to decide which way I wanted to put it. I think I like it that way. Make sure it's even on the ends, both ends. And I'm going to elongate it a little bit more. Reduce it a little bit more until it's at 4 again, and then I'm going to cut it again. I might have to put this in the freezer for just a few minutes. It's getting a little bit too warm from my hands. It's at 3. That's just go with 3 because I just really want to just cut it and see. Okay, so I'm going to cut it right in half. And there is our pattern. So, I mean, I was kind of flying by the seat of my pants a little bit on this one, if I'm honest. Hopefully you got something out of this. I'm going to put it in the freezer for a few minutes, and then we'll cut into it again and get a proper slice, because this one's a little bit foggy and fuzzy. Okay, so I'll just put it in the freezer for a few minutes. Okay, so it's out of the freezer now, so hopefully you can see this a little bit better. And now let's take some slices out of it and create a veneer that we can then use to make some jewelry or such. So normally I would use my actual slicer, but I'm just going to cut a few slices. I might not do the whole thing. I'm going to make them not too thick. Try to make them even with each other. These are not entirely even with each other. But I'll just cut like half of it to show you what a veneer would look like. Okay, so just put them together like this. And the sharper those corners are, the better they'll match up. I should have sharpened them one more time before putting this together, but that's okay. Okay, let's just cut 2 more slices to complete this. Normally I'm right over top and I don't want to get my head in the camera, so they might not be perfect. Okay, let's give that a little bit of a roll. I'm just going to go over it with a sheet of blank printer paper, just to kind of smooth it all out and get all of those pieces really well attached to each other. Smooth out all the joins. And then you've got a really cool pattern. Turned out really cool, actually. I like it. Hopefully, I'm going to try and recreate it. Maybe see if I can recreate it or not. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and please subscribe to my channel if you are enjoying my content, and I hope you are having a beautiful day. I'll see you again soon. Bye.